All right, welcome back, everybody. Sorry about the late start here. We're gonna be picking up our characters. We're gonna say probably the next afternoon. You guys have been given the word that the captain is getting prepared to ship out later that evening. So you've got about 6 hours left in port to restock, resupply anything that you possibly need before then, because and I don't actually have the map for you at this time. If picture in your mind kind of like an aquatic Silk Road type scenario. There is a point where there is the last stop until you get to the end. And it's just one long line that maybe like snakes around a couple desert islands, and there's no civilization from here to there for quite some time now. So you've been given the word. Everyone else is kind of bustling about the ship. Everyone is, excuse me, some people are leaving to get some supplies. A couple of the more hard up sailors are getting getting their dicks wet the last couple times that they possibly can before you ain't gonna see any women for a while, unless there's women already on the ship, which there's a few, but they're off limits. However, the floor is yours, gentlemen. If someone wants to describe their character and go first, we will go in order. Go for it.
Okay, I'll start then. So Garanus is a mountain of an Arborean, almost as wide as he is tall. He has his skin has the color and texture of gray bark shot through with black streaks and such up to his face. His hair is pulled back tightly. It's dark, almost the same color as the dark spots in his skin, shot through with a bit of gray here and there. But his eyes are a brilliant green. He's stripped to the waist at the moment, wearing the front leather apron of a smith, hammering out a hook that got bent over the past few days of rough use, help pulling in lines and such like that. And he's muttering to himself as he's doing this, and sweating profusely under the sun. But he seems to be invigorated by it as well. So
it's about 98 degrees with a probably like a 14-mile-an-hour wind here in the port.
So
Silas, there, go for it.
Silas, he will be above deck, getting ready to make one last stop to see if maybe he can get a new set of armor, since his armor was ravaged by a gigantic saber-toothed tiger cat thing, and he very nearly died. He is 6 foot tall, muscular, but very sinewy. He's very lean. Right now he is shirt. He has no shirt on. No armor has been shredded. He's his bare chest and his bare back, which is covered in the still semi-fresh wounds that have been patched up from the tiger attack, the saber-toothed tiger cat, and the lashing he got from his opium-induced fit of hysteria. So he is he's a little worse for wear, but nevertheless he is going to set out, or prepare to set out one last time to hopefully procure a new set of armor. So if he is beset by another giant cat who's going to stalk him across the seas, he may survive, this time. So that is what Silas is doing.
All right, so you're gonna be leaving the ship for a short time, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and I doubt I'm gonna be able to afford armor, but I'm gonna go at least check and see, because right now I just have my greaves and stuff on, because my entire cured little animal hide, leather, and fur just got shredded to bits. There's nothing left. So
Okay. Yeah, that's totally fine. Aethelridge, let's hear it.
Yeah, so Aethelridge is he's basically a slightly scaled down version of Goranis. But whereas Goranis is more of a lighter color, Aethelridge is really dark, kind of a black oak, mahogany kind of color to his bark. Instead of green eyes, he's got some a little bit of gold, a lot of gold eyes, almost kind of amber or sap colored eyes. He's a bit scarred up. He's gotten some good hits that enemies have delivered to him, but somehow those scars kind of make him a bit more attractive. And in some ways, he doesn't understand that, but it seems to work for him, so he goes with it. And he's at the current time, he's kind of worried about his friend Silas. Silas tends to get hurt a lot, so he would be going with his friend partly as backup, partly as someone who wears heavier armor and so can kind of advise his friend on good prices and stuff like that. So.
All right, fair enough. If you guys leave the ship that afternoon and find yourselves in the marketplace, you should be able to find a good mind you, a suit of leather armor, like a hauberk, probably something lighter, for close to 7 silver there, maybe 7.5. There is a lot of more reptile kind of leathers, and I suppose shark skin is also found in the marketplace. These are a somewhat seafaring people, as well as um, very good coastal fighters.
do they have like any like cured like shark skin or something like raw material? Because Goranis could help me make the armor if I can just get the materials for cheaper.
That you could, yeah, you could get a cured. I totally lost the word for it. A tiger shark for 8. No, excuse me, 7.5 silver there.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and get that, and then Goranis can help me make it something cured hide.
Keep in mind that is a 14-foot long animal.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing Aethelridge is here with me, right? I mean, to help me carry it. They can divvy up this.
Yeah, Aethelridge would do that.
I mean, holy shit, that'd be enough to make a nice like hauberk and greaves and stuff, and still have shit left over.
Kind of carrying a rug between the two of you.
It's like just a giant rug, and we're just okay. You said 7.5 silver.
Yeah, 7.5 silver there.
Okay.
So I mean, you could split a silver coin in half, or if you have the change for it.
I think I got 5 copper. Is it 10 copper for a silver, or?
It's 100s across the board.
Oh, okay. Well then, shit. Okay. I'll just
basically split a coin in half.
Yeah, okay.
You've been gone for maybe all of 45 minutes, which leaves you about 5 hours, 15 minutes. What's been Goranis been doing since they've been gone? You're still muted, man.
Still muted.
Oh, wait, hang on. What?
There. Okay.
There.
Sorry, I was having a little problem. My mouse decided it didn't want to work there for a minute.
Oh,
So Garanus has said he's been working on this this hook. Once he gets it hammered out to where it's supposed to be, he's actually been working on some plates to put together for a basic hauberk for Silas, and he's almost finished. He looks over at an almost finished hammered out helm that he and Aethelridge have been working on together. And he thinks about that for a minute. He sort of sets it aside and he goes and works some more on these plates. The idea is that these are going to make it almost like a lamellar. Once he gets a backing for it, to basically be sewn to the front of some leather to overlap, so they'll give him some decent protection, but still give him some flexibility. So he'll sort of scan around the for a moment, give himself a little bit of a sip of wine or whatever, or grog, whatever's available, and just sort of run his eyes across his port to see what he can see and see if he sees anything interesting.
In the 4 days that you've been here, that I suppose it would be up to you what you would find interesting. As they do come back with that shark skin, though.
He likes watching the girls walk by.
Oh, of course.
So he's pretty happy, sitting there and watching them. And of course, when they tend to get in view, he does flexes and stuff like that, and catches their attention and smiles at them. See if he can make them giggle. But then as he's scanning across, he looks and sees these two coming back with what looks to be a cured fish. And he's thinking, "What the hell are these two thinking? A fish?"
Just the hide rolled up, not the fish.
Oh, I thought they were like carrying like the skin sort of pulled out, sort of like a fish. I don't know.
No. Think of a shark that's been skinned and the skin's rolled up.
Oh, okay.
Like a big
Persian rug. Yeah.
Oh, so they're bringing a rug back. Okay. I don't know what the rug's going to be for, but okay. Okay. He'll sit there and walk over to the gangplank and wait. Take another right toss off his bit of grog he's got there and wait for him to come up holding his cup. So
they get within view, and you recognize, that's a tiger shark skin.
Okay, that's going to be interesting to work with. So I haven't worked with it very much, but I'm sure he won't ruin it too bad. He'll probably take a thread needle. We'll see how it goes. So,
does he have grades in tailoring?
No.
No. Ooh.
No.
All right.
Just armoring, armor, and
maybe
smithing.
Maybe somebody like Zakidi, somebody has grade in tailoring. Maybe we had to ask around. Like, can you sew?
Yeah, you guys haven't asked any of the crew, but
we have sails.
You have a tailor on board.
Yeah, so we have sails, so somebody has to be able to repair those sails.
Yeah, I guess me and Aethelred will walk over to Garanus's, workshop, his little forge, everything. We'll sit down this entire cured tiger shark here, this gigantic roll of flesh, and here's some raw material for you.
Yeah, very raw.
It could
he leans
be.
down and sniffs and says, "Did you catch that yourself?" Or
I threw Aethelridge into the drink. He got it.
Very impressive. Scared it's hide right off.
Wrestling.
Yeah, you're gonna have to talk to one of the cell masters about this. Needs to be cut, formed properly, and then needs to be holed in the right ways. And I don't know how to do that to attach the plates. Once it's holding stuff, I can definitely attach the plates.
Where is the sailmasters at?
He holds his hand out and waves toward where he's always at with the sails.
Silas just shake his head and he'll look at the sails and see if there's a guy next to the sails. Like, there's a sailmaster over there.
You look up, and Brahm is up there. I suppose he will count in such a situation.
Oh God, I don't want to ask Brahm.
Not him. Not the quartermaster. Fuck that asshole.
He would know, though.
I guess I'll just mosey over, make my way over to Brahm, and get ready for this fucking conversation.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, he's up there, managing a knot that has formed up there, and these sails aren't actually dropping in a as a whole entire unit there. But he's got kind of like the whole monkey toes thing going on. He's holding onto the rope with one of his big toes while he's trying to hold on to the beam that the sail hangs from, and working with this knot. He has a dagger in his teeth, and he notices you with his one good eye underneath his blindfold, and he grunts something. Like you really don't know what he said, but I mean, clearly he's acknowledged you.
I
He's
hate to
about
bother
30
you.
feet above you, I think.
I yell at him. I guess we can hear me. I hate to bother you, quartermaster, but I need a tailor. Is there a tailor on the ship?
He spits the dagger out, and actually it falls to the deck right next to you.
Oh God! Make a reflexes roll. Like this just shanks me in the head.
No, it falls blade down, thunk into the deck there, and he goes, "You're looking at him. You need your clothes mend?"
No, we have some tiger shark hide that we need sewn and fixed so that we may attach plates into it and fashion armor.
He pauses in the middle of whatever he's doing up there. He just slowly looks down at you. He goes, "You have a shark." What? Yeah, he quick like finishes what he's doing. Like he was dilly dallying up there. Like you've clearly bothered him, and he gets done right quick, and then he swoops down, kind of like thunks down to the deck in front of you, and he says, one more time." He pinches the bridge of his nose.
We have a cured tiger shark hide that we need a tailor to help us get ready to turn into armor. Goranis is not a tailor.
Well, of course he's not. He's a blacksmith.
Most blacksmiths can do a little sewing now and again, but regardless,
Efficiency. I'll get my needle and thread then.
and thank you, quartermaster. Now we'll just return to Goranis' little workshop.
So what do you say? He's gonna do it for you.
He said he's gonna get his needle and thread, so we'll see.
Was that before or after he threw his knife at you?
Oh, that's after.
Oh, okay, good. So
I think he was aiming, but his aim was
he
off.
still likes you.
I just say that's how he tells you. You know, if he tries to screw the top of your head with his dagger, that's how you know he likes you. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Oh yeah.
So,
If he had used his good eye, he would have got me.
yeah. At this point, he probably has this hide pulled out and flattened out. See how big it is.
It's about
Yes.
14 foot long.
Okay.
About it probably was the animal may or may not have been like full in life, maybe like 3 feet in diameter.
Okay. So he'll be taking some his cord, doing some measurements, and then he reaches up and grabs Silas for roughly and says, "Here, stand still and don't move." And he starts basically ticking off, going across the shoulders. Okay, that's 2 1/4 knots. And he does, up the side and checks his arms, and he starts to measure from the crotch down. He says, "Here, hold this in, right up in your crotch, tight as you can go." And he
Silas does it.
takes it down to the inseam, just above his ankles. Okay, that's 4 1/2 knots. Okay, and he as he's doing this, he's got a little like a little stylus that he's basically making notes on a little piece of wood off to the side that he has a little plank, and he's scratching these numbers and stuff into that. So okay, that gives you the measurements I need to give to him. So
Brom comes back with a kind of like a rolled up bundle of leather that's got 2 buckles on it, He unbuckles this pack and he kind of rolls out an array of shears, needles, a couple, I suppose. Was it bundles of thread, skeins of thread? Well, skeins of yarn.
Yeah, be a bundle.
No, bundle.
Or roll, probably.
But what he does, kind of looks over at this animal and it's been skinned. He goes, "Ooh, that's a pretty fish." He kind of just walks across it, kind of like gets a feel for the shark skin on the bottom of his feet. Most of the crew is actually barefoot, and he kind of shoots a look up at Silas. He goes, "Oh, don't mind my feet. These guys are. It'll be fine." He's just kind of like looking at you and then looking at the skin, like getting dimensions for you.
I'll hand him the plank and say, "Here's what I measured on."
He takes it from you and looks at your math. He kind of steps off of this rug. He looks down. He keeps looking back. Silas, the skin, and then back to the board. Well, it'll take me a few days to do this, but once we're out to sea and we're resupplied, I should be able to take care of that.
Okay.
Oh, much appreciated, Quartermaster.
And he's reaches over. Let's have that board again just a minute. He takes the board. He breaks it in half over his knee, and then he scratches a copy on his side and hands one back over to Brahms. So there you go. I need something to know how many plates I need to make.
Oh, he just nods.
Think we do more than one with that?
Maybe, he says after a few moments, that if I don't ruin much of the hide, I could probably get a well, do you want a cloak out of it?
Oh, I was just thinking.
Silas.
Oh.
Why not? Not every day you see a shark skin cloak.
That's true.
Or a sash or something.
Well, I mean, we could also
mess with things here.
We could also possibly put together something pretty decent, protective for the little lady, right? Looks over at Silas. Did you donate half a part of this hide to protecting our esteemed guest?
If she would want to wear a stinky fish, then she's more than welcome to. But she seems too posh to me.
Well,
but we could ask her.
Oh shit! It's already cured. It's not going to smell.
Yeah. I mean, let her know that it's a prestige thing to wear the skin of such a terrifying predator. I think she'd like it.
As someone so small as she, I suppose that I could make 2 sets of armor with this.
Yeah, and I could put together some additional bronze pieces for it, some fittings and whatnot to make it look even more dazzling and protective, of course.
And how are we going to get her measurements?
I will go get her measurements. That's all as well.
I just kind of cock an eyebrow at him and do like a little cheeky smirk, but I quickly wipe that shit off my face before I get smacked.
They're about to say that smack to the back of the head was already engaged, but it disengages pretty quickly because Grannis is like.
I mean, I'm learning. I've learned. I mean, I got the shit beat out of me. I'm slowly learning. Just don't fuck with nothing, dude. Just don't. No.
Yeah, of course, the captain will know her measurements.
Oh, I've taken her measurements before. She wears the furs that I've made her.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Those furs you got in that one place where it always rains.
Exactly.
Yeah, the place is horrible. Ugh.
Oh, that's why we don't go there very often.
Good. Okay. In that case,
we'll look around and be like, well, if there's, if he needs the time to fix the armor, what do we say about going and finding ourselves a little trouble and a little coin?
if that trouble takes 4 hours, and you'll be back safely.
It's true.
I don't think it should take that long, good quartermaster.
And just don't get us nipped by this what passes for a watch here. That's the important thing. Oh well, I guess I need to make sure you guys aren't getting in too much trouble. He goes over, grabs his shirt, pulls it over his head, sashes it closed, goes to grab his sword and belt it on, then hesitates for a moment and reaches over and grabs his shield he hammered out over the void here and throws it over his shoulder as well. We'll lead the way.
Silas is after they depart the ship, he's going to go down to like the water's edge. He's going to
Down on the beach.
yeah, he's gonna get some salt, nice salt water, and just throw it over his back there. Make the wounds feel really nice, and he's gonna take off his blindfold and kind of dip it in the water there, get it nice and wet, and wring it out and put it back on so it'll cool him off and whatnot.
All right.
And plus, it's filthy and nasty, so a little salt water help it. I mean, I don't know if Italians, just get salt water in their eyes and it fucks them like normal people, but we're gonna find out.
It does. It's pretty sensitive, but if you wring it out, you should be fine. Taking off your blindfolds around other Italians, however, is it's a very private matter. Wouldn't be something that you'd want other people to watch you do.
Yeah, that's why I kind of left before, so I can go down there for just kind of scurry off and do that real quick and meet back up with everybody.
Fair enough. We'll reopen that next scene, I suppose, in I'll make probably the main thoroughfare of the market there.
Okay. Gonna look around and see if there's what passes for a tavern or a pub around here. There's usually
there is the one that you guys tried to start some ruckus in the other day.
All right, we can go back there.
Yeah, is there like a bathhouse around here? Like can I get some fair maiden to scrubbing down in a tub or something?
You should be able to do that, yeah.
Is that like at the tavern, or is it like a
that's a
bathhouse
separate establishment?
It'd probably be at the brothel across the street, I'm willing to bet.
Yeah. There wasn't one before, but there is now.
Well, gentlemen, I think I'm going to visit some of the ladies of the evening before we leave.
Okay.
So Silas is going to be indisposed for maybe in a couple hours.
He's just getting a bath. Okay, he's getting a nice sponge bath, from pretty ladies, rubbing,
Oh yeah.
just
Just
dabbing
for hours.
just dabbing in his
therapeutic
wounds.
bath. How therapeutic. All right.
I mean,
Yes.
whatever happens. He needs to get clean before he goes off in his long voyage. He's going to be just rank.
Yeah, it's a
Story.
bath with a happy ending.
All right.
So okay, I guess I'm just going to go wander into the. Actually, does this thing have outside tables, or are they all inside?
It does.
Okay.
About 2/3 of it are outside.
Okay. I'm gonna go sit at one of the tables that's on the outside and wave at one of the barmaids to come over and bring me some wine.
Okay.
Since apparently wine's more common down here, I guess, than ale or beer would be.
Here, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
They prefer wine to beer. It'll be 2 silver if you want to keep that glass coming.
Oh yeah, take it out there. A couple silver. So at the Ridge, what kind of trouble were you wanting to get into?
Well, anything that brings coin into my pocket and doesn't generally wind up with me in the brig.
Okay.
So a chance of the brig is better than no coin in the pocket.
That's true. Well, there are all kinds of tests of strength and tests of skill we could finagle some of these locals into getting into. You look like you got a pretty good set of arms on you. Have you ever investigated the art of arm wrestling. It's a thing they do where basically they sit up with each person across the table with their elbows on the table. They clasp hands and they attempt to put the other person's knuckles on the table.
I have not done this, but that's
with.
Yeah, it's not something I have personally done for wealth, but sounds like it would be something that would be profitable.
Yeah, I think we can definitely do some stuff like that and see what happens. So, tell you
I
what.
think at that point, Aethelridge would probably order the fruiest alcoholic beverage that he could find on the menu, and challenge.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, like a pina colada or something like that, and with a little tiki umbrella thing, and would try and get somebody to arm wrestle him for money.
All right. Which one of you? I'm assuming you're sitting at the same table. Which one of you has grades in Streetwise? Streetwise does govern gambling, so
I don't have any. So
you don't?
No, he's not a guy who deals in Streetwise much.
Right? Oh, god damn it! Really? Oh, son
Yeah.
of a bitch.
I'm a sailor, a blacksmith.
All right. You can use. You can use it untrained. Go for it. That'll be a -4 penalty there.
I'll make a roll.
I'll be right back. I actually forgot my die.
Okay, I'll make a roll for it real quick. That's based off of cunning, correct?
Cunning, yes. Yeah.
All right. Let me see here. There's Rafe. I gotta take a picture of this thing for you real quick.
Did you roll 2 8s again, you dickhead?
Just so you know what I got rolled here. Let me get them both in the frame.
Oh yeah, yeah. Do it.
And I sent to the group chat.
Oh Jesus! What?
Yes, I rolled double 8s.
All right. So apparently, evidently, there's a lot of people here that really want to see a couple guys arm wrestle.
Okay.
Strangely enough, everyone wants to see this.
Okay. So I'll wave him over, and I'll start bragging about my friend here being the arm wrestling champion of Arborea. How he's literally broken arms and blah blah.
That's a deception test.
Oh, I thought that was what the Streetwise test was all about.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Now you're fucking lying.
Okay, that wasn't nearly as good. But then again, at the same time, that could also play into what I want to do anyway. So I'm trying to talk him up, and obviously I'm falling short of talking up how good he is.
Yeah, they actually want to see you arm wrestle because
you're bigger. Fine. Bring your biggest man.
They bring you over a big Tyrannian pirate. You don't need to know his name because he's not going to be very important.
That's okay.
But
I shall call him Bob.
Yeah, right. Bob the Tyrannian. That's fine. And he sits down. He goes, You're quite large for where you come from. Are you amongst the fairies?
Yes, I am. I am Arborean. Greatest.
Kind of narrows his eyes at you. I will take up your challenge then.
All right. I'll plop down 2 silver and say, "This is my bet. I can beat you. Can you match it?"
He lays down 2 silver.
Okay. I'll look over at afterwards and say, "See who else wants to bet on this thing on us." Okay.
There's I'm not even gonna make you roll for it. There's just a good 12.5 people here that throw down a couple coins each.
All right, excellent. We line up.
22.
Okay, I'll line up and flex my arm really a few times. Make sure it's not too tight, and put my my elbow on the table and my right hand. I'm sure is what he's wanting to do. And then I lay my left hand.
You know what?
Good question.
That is a good question. No, actually, he just, surprisingly, he goes for his left arm.
All right, then I'll adjust and sort of smile at that. And
Yes.
thinking to myself, either he knows enough about fairies to know we're mostly left-handed, or he doesn't know enough about fairies to know we're mostly left-handed. So he adjusts himself and puts his left hand up there and holds out and clasps the guy's hand and flexes his hand a little bit to make sure he gets a good grip.
Oh yeah.
And he says, let's have someone call go for us instead of us guessing, and look the guy in the face and just sort of wait.
He just nods.
Mhm.
He kind of like shoots a look at everybody else, like, who's going to do this?
Aethelridge will step up and we'll announce it.
Okay.
Oh, he just
Say
nods. He kind of like
and
settles
go.
into his seat.
right.
All right.
And this is straight strength, or is this athletics or straight physique and athletics?
This will be straight athletics. Or just athletics, not straight
Okay.
physique, sorry.
All right, athletics it is.
Oh, all right.
Okay, that's going to be.
He's got a 14.
Oh, I got him beat.
Oh, you got me.
I've got 24.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll let him. I will let him play a little bit, so I don't flat out just embarrass him. But I know almost immediately that I can beat this guy. But I'll give him a little bit of a show for just 10, 15 seconds before I put his arm down.
No, that might be best.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you, I suppose, a bunch of coins are exchanged,
Okay.
and he
Thank you.
when he does let go of your arm, he just kind of like pushes his coins
Okay.
over to your side of the table, and
Yeah, so
he kind of like he rubs his elbow, and he comes. He puts his one finger up, and he sits up from his chair, and he goes, "One moment here." And he kind of leans back in his chair, and he kind of looks like we should go again.
Think so? Okay.
And I mean, I honorably he leans back in his chair and gives himself a few moments.
Okay. I will. I slide forward the 4 coins. I said double or nothing.
This particular Tyrannian is he is. Oh, actually, you know what? Quite worldly he is. He goes ahead and pulls out eight coins and he pushes that over.
Okay.
He goes for good sport.
Well, luckily, since I just won 2, I actually have 8 myself right now. So okay, yeah, I'll put the 8 coins out. So,
oh, did you not have that much left?
He had, literally, because he just won 2, he now had 8 coins.
Oh, 8 coins total.
He spent 2 for his wine. So he had 6. He just won 2. Now he has 8. So yeah, he has exactly 8. So yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we've got 16 silver on the table, and he stretches. He gets up from his chair, stretches a bit.
Okay.
He takes a swig of wine, and he goes, "I have not, I've not met one of your kind before, but I believe your people are quite beautiful and quite canny in battle."
Well, thank you very much. I've heard tales of the Tyrannians and how they are, in some places, both feared and respected for their fighting prowess.
We are mostly pirates and desert raiders. He puts his elbow on the table with his left hand.
Mhm.
And he holds it up for you.
He puts his left hand up and helps him. Basically goes in and gets himself a good grip on the guy's hand. He says, "We also are known as raiders, but we raid in the forests."
Oh. And when he takes your hand, he goes, "Tell me of the trees in your country."
They're tall. They're very strong.
They're not like
limber.
palms.
No.
They do not have leaves.
Well, they have leaves, but said leaves are not nearly as broad as the ones here.
I have heard of a tree that has needles for
Yes.
pulling thread. I have never seen such a thing before.
There are several trees that are like that, actually.
And he kind of like just like nestles into his chair and gets ready for you. Kind of like squeezes your hand twice.
Okay.
Like he gets himself ready, but
Yeah.
you guys are talking. But
Yeah, I squeeze his hand back to let him know that I'm ready, and I nod.
and he nods back and he shoots a look up at Aethelred and looks back at you in the eyes.
I'm waiting for the call.
And Aethelridge will say, "Go."
Oh shit! Oh my goodness!
Okay. I have a 16.
Oh, you do? Oh
Yes.
shit! He just crit actually.
Oh hell. Okay. Well. So.
Let me, I will share that with the group here.
Oh, speaking of which, I need to mark my cunning.
Yeah. So I mean,
Sure
you
enough.
you guys have a good fight for a good 10 minutes worth of it. You look at each other. I mean, you may or may not get a bead of sweat going, and he slowly wears you down, knuckles to the table, and he smiles and leans back in his chair with a sigh.
Grennis will laugh out loud, very, basically let him know that he of course he grins ear to ear and he says, "That was a hell of a match. I've not met my match in a long time." Yes. He pushes the silver across the table and says, "You have more than earned that."
He only takes maybe like 6 of his coins and he pushes them back to your side. He goes, you will be on the sea for a time. I have plenty of coin to lie in my pockets.
Well, you're very, very generous. Would you like to try my friend here, Aethelridge? I hear he's a master of this art as well.
He just looks up at Aethelridge and smiles. He puts his finger up. One moment.
Okay. I'll take the few coins he has, and I'll vacate the chair with a bow to him. And I say, I tell him, one day I would love to take you to see the firs and the pines of the northern forests, and see their needles, which are much like, well, in some cases like the needles used to sew cloth, and in some cases like small swords. He goes and sits at a different table and pours him some wine and rolls that shoulder on his left arm and winces just a little bit and then grins and laughs for a short little laugh.
He introduces himself. He goes, "My name is Naram Seen. I'm a pirate and a raider for. Well, I'm not a member of a crew at this time, but I mean to travel back to my homeland in the desert far from here.
We may have a spot on our crew, especially for one with arms like yours. We can always use additional rowers, but you say you're a pirate. Do you have any other skills aboard ship that would be useful?"
I have served as a cook. I have pulled oars for one of my galleys. I was a marine on a merchant ship. I have done all of these things in my short life.
Well, we do have a cook, and I'm not sure if she would share her galley with anybody, but we have plenty of oars to pull. And another strong arm behind a weapon would be useful if we run up against any foes out on the water. But of course, I cannot speak for the ship myself. My captain will. I can put in a good word.
He nods.
Aethelridge here could too, if he chose to. He may wish to know you. Aethelridge, so join us.
I have no qualms with this plan, though I won't take your coin if you're going to be one of our crew members.
Well, then, Naram kind of like he brushes his hands on on his pants, but he's got a tiger pelt there. Kind of like smooths his tiger pelt down. He goes, "Oh, if money Oh, he holds up his hand. Yes. One moment. He kind of like leans off in this chair and he pulls out 2 bottles of wine on the table and he goes, "How about this?"
I will play for drink. Sure.
I suppose. Kind of looks over at one of the barmaids. He goes, "How about you buy a cask of wine from this local establishment here, and we will put this against yours to make it fair. Yes?"
I will do so. Aethelridge will pick up his frou-frou drink and take a delicate little sip out of it, put it down, and order a cask of wine.
That'll cost you 3 silver there, and he will settle himself up for another arm wrestling match.
So
But,
Grant is going to lean over and sniff that drink he had on the table and wrinkle up his nose a little bit and shake his head and down his glass of wine and pour himself a bit more out of the jug.
Meanwhile, across the street and down a few doors, Silas is describe for us, Grant, what is happening to you at this establishment of the senses.
Well, right now, Silas is in a wash bin, a wash tub, with nice hot water that's been heated in a cauldron, I guess. Not scalding, but nice and steamy. And he is sitting in this tub as these 2 beautiful women are filling his bath and giving him a nice rub down with sponges and essential oils and whatnot have you. Maybe some lavender. I mean, I don't know what is abundant in this climate, but he has some so basically what passes for soap and fragrances here, and they're just gently washing him over his wounds and everything. Coconut oil, and they wash his hair and they put oil in his hair and they brush his hair, and they're pampering him basically. May or may not be eyeballing his tattoos and his wounds and stuff, and among other things. But so far, it's just a nice little bath.
They have serviced Ateans in the past, so what they've done, they have given you a kind of a white linen cloth that you can use as a replacement blindfold, while the one that you use every day is actually being washed for you.
Oh, nice. And there may or may not be some rope that may or may not be tied around his hands. Maybe he may or may not be bound, nice and secured, in the Italian way.
No, of course, of course. What are these ladies? Are they Tyrannians? Are they Ateans? Are they Igniads?
I've never even heard of a Tyrannian, so I don't even know what they are.
Tyrannians, if you quick good description, that would be, I suppose, pre-Islamic Bronze Age desert folk.
Okay, then yeah, I like that. So, I mean, I don't care. Whatever. Yeah, I'm. Silas doesn't care. It's whoever is working that day. He finds the fairer sex alluring in any aspect, no matter what they are, except for like goblins and shit. I mean, come on, let's be serious. So
just
maybe
for,
like
just for shits and giggles, you now have 3 goblins.
Oh, yeah, no, it is. I mean,
no,
I'm
kidding.
Your blindfold is so dirty. We must wash it. Yes.
Brutal. But
I guess we have like a Tyrannian and an Italian.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
So,
all right. The one of your kinsfolk would have taken the bandana away and then to have it washed. She herself is wearing a red almost kind of faded red, so it kind of looks like a pink blindfold, which she also has a ribbon tying up her hair into a ponytail. So your bath will probably continue for the next, I don't know, how long have you paid? Hour and a half, 2?
2 hours I paid for. And when they take off his blindfold to go have it washed, and before the new one's on there, he'll look at like the Tyranian. He'll look at her like in the eyes, and like, that is, that is like a Tayan, like, that's arousal, right? That's intimate right there. And he hasn't done that very often, but it is liberating to be able to look at someone in the eye without having the blindfold on. So he is he's in full on just ecstasy mode right now. He's just being pampered, and other worldly experiences are being had. He's just enjoying himself before he gets back on the fucking rickety tub out in the middle of the ocean where he's gonna get berated and eating eggs. He's enjoying this. This is
it now.
Last slice of paradise he has before he's just nothing but hell. So
okay. She might be a little spooked seeing your eyes. She let's see here. Has she excuse me. She's actually seen Atayan, natural Atayan eyes before. So she gets spooked initially, but she kind of softens at that. And we will close the curtains behind that and allude to the things that will happen beyond that scene. Back in the tavern, there is Naram. Settles up again in his chair, and he takes a sip of wine from his cup, and he holds his hand out to Aethelridge.
Aethelridge will take it.
He'll actually look up to Garanus. He goes, "Will you call this for us, friend? Will you?"
Certainly.
And so a bunch of coins are being exchanged now. You've got maybe like a group of like 30, 40 people here kind of looking on. So you guys are kind of like the big scene right now.
Okay. I'll go around and make sure everyone who wants to see is there to see, and I'll walk over to the two of them, look down at them, and say, "Are you two of you ready?"
Naram nods.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
As you nod, he says, "And go."
All right. Oh shit! All right. What do we got?
Fates explode.
Yes, they do.
On skills too.
This is athletics based.
Yeah.
What do you got?
18 total.
Oh shit! Yeah, you beat him by 4 points. So you can describe what kind of fight that you guys have before you beat him. Go for it.
How much did Aethelridge beat? You said by 4.
By 4.
So yeah, I think it'll
18,
be kind of go. Yeah, he'll go back and forth a little bit, and Aethelridge, especially because the guy is potentially going to be joining the crew. Aethelridge doesn't want to embarrass him any more than Garanus did the first time. So he'll go back and forth a little bit. But pretty quickly, Aethelridge will recognize that he also has gotten the upper hand, at least on the first round, and is going to, after maybe a couple of back and forths, we'll just slowly start just pushing the arm down steadily, not all at once. He doesn't want to hurt the guy, so just steadily, and then we'll just keep going. So.
Fair enough. After a pretty exhaustive battle here, he bounces knuckles off the table, and he lets out a sigh, and He smiles at you and he goes, "All right. These are." He kind of indicates the wine that he's put up as the bet, and he goes, "These are from my family's vineyards, some days north of here. They are yours. They are a gift. Thank you."
Thank you, good sir. And Etheridge, I think, will take the wine bottles and the cask, and we'll stand up, yielding the seat back to whoever wants to go next.
Yeah. So Naram will he'll surrender his seat and go sit where he was originally sitting, just a few feet away, while you've got another couple of bouts of sailors and villagers here indulging in the bets and the gambling. What do you guys wish to do? I would say it's probably been about an hour and a half now. Probably about.
I'll bet on a couple of these matches, just see what my luck comes up as.
Okay.
Throw a silver on say 2 different matches.
Okay.
Me to roll off with you?
Yeah, go for it.
Let's see. Just want to do a straight roll with this one then?
Oh yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I have an 8 with that one, double 4s.
Yeah. So you win 2 silver from the next couple matches.
All right. Okay. Excellent. Back into my original amount.
There you go.
So,
as the sun is beginning to set at this time, Silas is still at the bathhouse, being serviced by the girls. What do you guys plan on doing here?
I'll look over to Etheridge and say that Silas apparently has some stamina. Unless he was really getting a bath. You don't think he's really getting a bath, do you?
Surely not. Surely
There's
not.
no
That's
way.
too coincidental.
Yeah, that
notion's
was
right there. Why would you need special soaps and things? Yeah,
true.
Yeah.
So with the rains, so
I think Etheridge would see if Garanus would like to help him sell the fine bottles of wine and maybe the cask that he bought, and then go get Silas before we all get in trouble for being late.
Actually, I have a suggestion for you. Sell the cask, keep the bottles though. I think it was an honorable thing for him to give them to you as such, the way he did. It might be a bit of an insult to sell them. Probably best to enjoy them.
True.
So
a very wise suggestion. So,
but is there any good? But don't want to know if they're any good.
You got to open
we
them and
shall
try
have
it.
to test them.
We could do one.
So, yeah. So, yeah, Etheridge will try and sell the one cask and then find Silas.
Well, Silas, he's at the bathhouse. Since he's paid for a couple hours, you'd certainly be interrupting his spa time. That is.
I have booze that he can share with me.
Actually, I'll tell you what. I will actually pay off the madam of the house to let us into the room where he's at as a prank.
Oh no. Okay. All right. All right. How much do you pay her off?
Well, I asked her how much it normally costs for a full 2 hours in a bath. And I sort of wink at her when I say bath.
She tells you 8 silver.
Oh, that must be an extremely fine bath.
She smiles at you with a winning smile, and she says, "It is."
That's premonition, right? To tell her she's.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
8, 4. So that's 27. 29 on
Yeah, she's a
premonition.
lion sack of shit.
Yeah, I just sort of smile at her and shake my head, and I beam back at her, and I say, "But for me, you would do it for so much less, wouldn't you?" With a bit of an allure check here myself.
Oh my god.
That's going to be a 16 on the allure.
Oh, actually, well, let's see. Oh, wait. Oh my god.
She's
She
floating
cocks
all
an
over the place.
eyebrow at you,
Mhm.
and she says, "For you, no."
Had to give it a shot. I'll tell you what. I'll give you 2 silver to let us into his room. He's our shipmate. We have to go back soon anyway.
4 coins, and I'll tell you where he is at.
How about 3? I'd bring my captain back later.
Ooh.
Avery
Oh,
will
you're gonna
speak
put the
up and,
captain on the line? Oh,
Well,
shit.
it's the whole thing of
Avery-
if we want to make sure our guy's okay.
Uh-huh.
So if she's trying to haggle with us knowing where he's at, I'm starting to think maybe there's something going on. Maybe they're rolling this guy. So
I think
Right,
April
right.
Ridge will speak up and say that I'll make it worth your while if you let my friend just go find our friend with an allure check of his own.
All right, you can go for it.
we are pretty boys.
Right? But she's also the madam of a cat house. She's seen
Yes.
all of this shit.
24.
Oh. Oh, shit. Wait. Ooh. Oh, my God.
Don't you do it.
Yeah, no, she she says, "Young man, do not make promises that you cannot follow through on." She looks at
Well,
Garanus
you never
and
know
says,
until you try.
3.5 coins, and you can go see him.
As you wish. As you wish. I know you're making plenty of money off of us at this point. But yes, 3.5 coins. I lay down three coins, hold out one of the silver coins, and I will physically break it in half. Athletics roll, right?
Yeah, right. It's not going to be much, but hey.
That's going to be a 27.
Oh yeah, you bust.
Yeah,
this coin
it
right
explode there too. So yeah, I'll break it literally in half right in front of her, so it's obvious, and drop it into her hand, and put the other one back, and I'll say, "I'll go make sure he's okay."
She about drags you off to a room, to be perfectly fair.
Yeah, I know.
She,
And of course, as soon as she starts making those moves, like, "Oh no, that time's already passed."
oh, now she says, "Now you're playing hard to get. Now, come on."
Always. Rich, would you like to come along?
Sure.
Okay.
And he kind of eyes the madam of the house with one of those, you never know until you try, but he'll kind of sidle sideways after his friends.
Okay.
She rattles off the like a room number to you.
Okay. We'll head that way, and I'll make sure I loosen my sword just in case something is going down in this place. Because having been in a few ports, I know how sometimes some of these brothels can just be a place where a sailor goes in the evening and wakes up in the gutter the next morning, stripped of all of his belongings.
Oh yeah. I will tell you that this doesn't seem like that kind of place, but I mean, a brothel's a brothel. God,
True, you never know. That one crazy one in Fellport, to do it all the time.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
So,
Silas, you're clearly not paying attention to the world around you.
No, I
you
mean,
are wrapped up in the
you
kaleidoscope of limbs going on.
Yeah, you will definitely hear sounds of commotion. Whether or not that's battle, you can't tell, but you will hear commotion coming from that room. So,
would you like to make an awareness test to hear anything coming down the hallway, or would you like to fail that?
No, just fail it because at this point he's paid for security, so as far as he knows, I mean, no one knows him. He's not expecting someone to bust on the door and like, "That's my woman," and come and like shank him in the bathtub or something. But so no, he is completely oblivious to everything but the immediate surroundings.
Just to make
You
sure,
don't think this is that kind of place, but hey,
just to make sure, he's actually getting given a bath, right?
Well, he did have a bath. That
Okay.
was at the beginning.
That's fine. All right, so we burst through the door and pause for a moment. We're looking at. I look at this tangle of bodies, tilt my head, and I said, "Well, damn, he wasn't just getting a bath."
Grant, would you?
I don't want to know if that's soap that's lingering in the water or not.
Oh.
They might bait like fish for all I know.
Well, Silas is in this wash tub with a very attractive woman on his lap. And most of the water has exited the tub due to the goings on in the tub. And
The ocean.
yes, and he will quickly whip around. His soaking wet hair is plastered to his face, and he'll look around and he'll like, you can't see his eyes because he has the blindfold on.
Oh, he put the blindfold back on. All right, that's gonna be my next question.
Yeah, the clean one while they wash the other one. He has the white one on, and he'll look, but his face, without even seeing his eyes, his face is literally just like, "You motherfuckers." And he'll reach over the tub and just feel around for his daggers and try to pull one out. And if he gets a hold of it, he's just going to chunk it. He's just going to chunk it as hard as he can at him.
As he's trying to pull out, I'll back out of the room and close the door.
So yeah, as soon as you close that door, you hear a thunk, and you just see the tip of a dagger point through the freaking door.
And the Red will be like, "We've got some special wine for you."
I look over at Etheridge and I say, "I actually thought he was having a bath. Believe it or not, he just seemed the kind of would take a bath. I guess he is taking a bath, technically, isn't he?"
And this will be like,
Aliens are strange.
It'll be 10, maybe 15 minutes tops, and then he will emerge from the room,
seething with hatred.
Yes, but at the same time, he looks like he has just had every knot in his body just completely relaxed. So he's pissed, but at the same time, he's like, I can't be too pissed. So he'll just open the door. He'll have his his holsters with his daggers just flung over his shoulder. He'll just look at you guys and just shake his head and start walking out.
He was just worried about you, good friend. I mean, never know what kind of brothels there are in ports like this. Have you checked yourself for parasites yet?
Oh.
He's like, I know. Brian, I understand there is a lady downstairs who will probably check for you for a modest fee. Well, she tried to check me.
If you do that too often, you might go blind. Well, maybe not in your case.
They could be immune. So it's basically just a bunch of a friendly ribbing of him as we head down.
That Atean girl with the pink blindfold kind of runs after you, and she brings you your now clean headband that you actually wear day to day.
Oh yeah, well I will turn away from everybody and I will remove the one I have, and I will just kind of hand it in her direction, not looking, and my facing down, and I will just take the my old blindfold and put it back on.
Yeah. Having been around enough Italians, I'll modestly turn away from this. So
it's a kind of thing I suppose with us humans, it's like changing in front of somebody that you don't know. Kind of like you don't want to see them naked. You kind of like turn around.
Yeah, it's like it's your bros, but you don't want to see their junk unless you absolutely have to. So you're like,
pretty much.
You do your thing, bro.
Unless you're popping with a wet towel, then it's like tip snip. Long story.
Oh.
Long story.
You dirty bastard.
Well, that's the kind of mentality these guys have at the moment. Is it would be, but at the same time, they're giving him his respect for the eye thing, because it's both a bit disturbing to see that, and also I know it's a custom. So.
Yeah. So she takes the white bandana and kind of gives you like a short bow, curtsy kind of thing, and she wishes you well on your journey, and then she runs back off to the bathhouse.
All right. Well, gentlemen, should we go try to collect this new fellow back at the bar, this Nareem?
New fellow.
Oh yeah, you chance to meet the guy. Yes.
We're having another crewmate.
Possibly. So he's a Tyrannian. He's very strong. He beat me in a test of strength.
Well, good. I'm glad he did.
So is he.
Well, lead the way.
All right. We'll go down and motion for him to come join us and say, if you'd like to see our captain before we leave, now's the time.
Nobody then, huh? All right.
I think he was talking to the Tyranian.
Yeah.
Oh no, the Tyrannian's actually at the end of the dock near the ship. He's actually speaking to Brom.
Oh shit.
Okay, yeah. If we saw him, then we'd be head over there.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
What it ends up doing is Naram actually buys himself passage onto the ship. But he offers up his services as a previous Marine fighter, and Brom, seeing over most of the new recruits, the new sailors, brings him on, introduces him to Bruna, the rest of the crew, tells him where his bench will be. Turns out that he is the bench behind Aethelridge, but you guys are getting onto the ship by about sundown now, and they are casting off within the next 20 minutes.
You're muted.
Muted.
Yeah, you're muted, Keith.
Stow I'm going there and stow all my my smithing materials and such. Make sure they're in their proper places. See how this. I'll look over at the hide. Did Brom take it with him to cut it up or anything, or just still in that same area?
It's
right.
down in the brig in the okay. Storage area.
I didn't want anybody to be stepping all over it and such. So, yeah, I'll tidy up the area, get that all secured, then go over and I'll actually. I'm trying to think, but probably between tasks, he probably occasionally mans an oar if he absolutely has to. So,
Brom tries not to, actually. In all of the cycles that you've been on the ship with him, he tries to steer clear of the fucking oars.
Oh, I'm sure he does. So, but that's something I can actually do if I have to, or at least I'll probably go around and start helping them pull, get everything prepared as far as the sails go and stuff like that. Because I'm a pretty strong fellow. I can probably man the winch for the anchors if we happen to need to pull them up or anything. So I don't think we do, because I'll be in port use anchors, but yeah.
Silas is going to take his spot on his bench and get ready to cast off the rest of the rowers.
Aethelridge will do mostly the same thing, but he's going to stow the two fine bottles of wine in a little bit more secure place. He doesn't want them, rolling around and breaking or anything like that. So,
yeah. We should have a box with some straw or some tinder there in the in our smithing area. You probably put them in there so it wouldn't get bounced around too much.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
Within a few minutes, yeah, you guys set out for the deep. The captain comes out, stands on the upper deck, and he goes, "All right. Any last requests? This is the last bit of land and port you're going to be seeing for some time. Or if you want to stay here, get the fuck off my boat." He's like, going once, going twice.
Silas had a bath.
Did he have
Wasn't
a
really
bath?
bad.
Everyone looks at Silas like, "You motherfucker, he got a bath."
I just
He
look
was
at
this-
I just look at everybody and I just shrug and I just go back to sitting there.
He was the smart one. You smelly oafs.
There's kind of a chuckle kind of ripples through the crew. "Oh yeah. The captain smiles. He goes, "Yeah, I had myself a bath. Didn't go to the bathhouse though." Shoots a look at Silas with a wily smirk on his face. "Good on you, lad. Good on you." I was like, "Get this tub out of here. We got to get going." And you guys pull out. Well, I suppose as much as a ship can pull out. You will be on this leg of the voyage. Let me quick calculate that. You guys can role play amongst yourselves over the next couple of in-game chains here.
Okay. So yeah, as things get back into a normal pattern and such, of course, my since I got most of my work done while we were in port, now that we're at sea, I can sort of focus on the helm, get it finished up for Aethelridge, get it fitted to him properly, so I can make a roll for that real quick to let you know what I got for that.
Yeah, you've got plenty of downtime.
So that's gonna be an 18 to finish that up. So
yeah, that'll take you a good couple chains.
okay. And then, of course, once that's done, I'll work on fitting the armor plates to the probably the shark skin hauberk that was put together for Silas there. And then the very last thing he'll be doing is making the fittings for the smaller one. And these he's going to take his time with.
Brahm has not gotten to the shark skin yet.
Oh, okay. So he'll make sure he gets his pieces done and ready for it, waiting to be ready to assemble it. So give him a little time to do some polishing and things like that of some of the pieces. So,
okay, perfect.
Let's see here. Oh yeah, for the little ones stuff, that is going to be a 26. So,
all right, beautiful.
He said he's putting a little bit more craft into these. He's actually going to put a little bit of like some etching on the front, some stamping to make it look like almost like scales. So it almost sort of blends in a little bit with the shark skin underneath. So give it a bit of a sea feel to it, a sea theme. So,
all right. It looks like if I weigh that against the stores that you have on the ship, this portion of the journey is going to take you 14 months. Keep in mind, a full cycle is 16 months. So, for the next 14 40-day months, what do you guys want to do? What will you guys be exploring, I suppose, in character? You guys will have, I'll give you guys all 2 points of seafaring as a passage of time bonus. Your experience, I'll give you 15 experience for the passage of time as well. We can have some brief soliloquies here for this passage of time. good, we'll say 10 months in, 10 months later, we'll go for soliloquies. All right, Silas, go for it.
Well, the time they've been spending at sea, Silas has been.
Tell us about that bronze tan.
I mean, he was pasty white when he got on here, and now he is. He is like an ideal Greek, Greek god type deal. He's brawn. He got that farmer's tan. Um, uh, he when he has his downtime, he will be obviously praying and to his goddess and doing all he can in his with his limited stores of sacrifice. I mean, he will do all he can to placate her, and he will also be honing his martial skills by shadow boxing and such, and just keeping himself on his toes. And obviously, he'll be working with Goranis, watching him in the smithing and trying to learn and try to help and try not to fuck up too many projects. And most of the time, as he's laying there in the hammock, as it shifts over and the waves just gently lap upon the ship, he'll just think back to that last night he had in that bathhouse, and that always makes him fall asleep with a nice smile on his face. No matter what happened that day, no matter how brutal the rowing was, or how scorching the heat was in the sun, how many blisters he has on his hands and on his neck, these water blisters, and he always finds solace and comfort in those beautiful women who are always there in his dreams. So he's learning a lot, and that's why he wanted to come out here, see new things, and to experience new experiences. And he's not disappointed, but he's excited to finally make it to shore, if they ever get there. It seems like this is taking eternity, but when they get there, he will be beyond excited. Anticipation is just welling up inside of him.
You have been on the crew long enough, and Brahm comes to you, and he says that you have been permitted to build a shrine to your deity in your personal quarters on this ship, a couple months after you've left the port at Farpoint. And if he has, you can describe for us what the shrine to the Banshee Queen would look like in your personal quarters.
He does so, and since it's not only his quarters, he doesn't make it a large elaborate shrine. It's just a small personal one, and he will get broken things and disused things, like a broken frayed ropes that are past their prime, or bits of splintered planks, or even desiccated like rat skeletons that they find somewhere. You'll just find all of these garbage, these discarded things, these broken things, and he will make a shrine in a way that makes these things become whole. He will take these things and kind of piece them together like a puzzle, and he will slowly add on and build it sort of like a nest, and he will eventually, the finished product will resemble very crudely the depiction of his goddess, the Banshee, and he will have that at the corner of his room next to his hammock, and he will try to offer sacrifices there, as much as he can. He will take to hunting the ship for any rats or any other vermin that may have stowed aboard, and exterminate them and sacrifice them to her, or if that's scarce, he will try to catch a fish or some live sacrifice to give to her, and he keeps it maintained and tidy, even though it is just a bunch of refuse and skulls and whatnot. He keeps it tidy. It's morose and very sorrowful and sort of grotesque, but at the same time, it has its beauty and its its grotesque visage it has there.
As you have been hunting these rats for the past several months, you have become I suppose, a rival as well as a late night companion to the cook's house cat. She has Bruna brought on a Yathite granary cat, which is kind of like a not like a normal house cat that we would have like standard here. It's a short hair, almost like a like an Egyptian cross with a Siamese kind of cat. And Hob, Hob, this cat is he's an orange cat, so clearly he's batshit fucking crazy. After a while, you've been taking the rats and killing them from time to time. Hob will bring a rat and drop a rat on your sandal and then walk off. You'll be sitting pulling an oar for a day, and you're like, oh shit, fucking rat. Oh, goddamn cat. All right.
Yeah, but I befriend him, and it's a competition. It's like, okay, Hob, let's see who can catch the biggest or the most rats today. And if I notice that the rat population has been dwindling or lacking, I will try to get a fish or something for him and bring it to him. He's my little buddy. He's my little rival buddy.
But with that, everything seems to find almost an eerie calm out here. You guys are just inside the shallows. You guys like to skirt the deep there, as you know, there are monsters out in the deep, and we have no truck with those goddamn things. Garanus, would you take the floor for us?
So Garanus has been busy himself with the detail work on these armor pieces. First for Silas, he forms some curved pieces and such to place on his shoulder to reinforce the shoulder armor of this thing, and then the rectangular plates. They're actually 2 inches by 3 inches, basically, if you were using our dimensioning. But he hammers those out and gets enough so that they'll cover the chest down to just above the hip bones in the front. And then he also does a few plates to the back. The back's not nearly as heavily layered as the front is, because obviously if you're running away, you deserve to die. And so it's
damn it.
The style he does is more of an Arborian style lamellar, which is more heavily armored in the front, not so much in the back. He does, though, to make sure in the back to make sure there's heavy plating over the kidney area, and so that that someone doesn't just get shanked that way, and strategically placed along the spine, and then up at about where the back of the heart would be on both sides. He extends the plates out there a bit too. At least that's the way he lays it out. And then once he gets those, he's doing basically the same thing for for the young lady, but this time he's actually taking a lot more time with the plates. He's making sure that the sizes are a little smaller. These are probably like 1x2 plates, and then he's taking the time to actually engrave them with a scale pattern, which will take probably a good several chains to do. And on this one, the shoulders will actually flare up a bit, and he's going to try to work in like the hint of dolphins diving over her shoulder. So, but and this entire time he's thinking about how he's just really very much getting into his craft and passing it on to these young fellows, and especially Aethelridge, who's become quite a companion. It's been a while since he's actually had another Arborian sort of take interest in what he does. The other Arborians in the ship just really aren't interested in being a smith at all. They just like him to get their stuff fixed. And also, too, because several of them, well, him being a member of a fallen house, he thinks that might actually color some of their opinions a bit. They may see him as either cursed or as just generally not good luck. But he's too good of a smith to throw him overboard, basically. So he's actually spoken more probably in the last several chains than he has in the last couple of cycles. Or before that, years and such, basically.
And with that, Aethelridge, the stage lights come up to illuminate our young Arborian friend. What do we see in his heart and in his mind here?
Yeah, he's kind of happy in a lot of ways to actually have some kind of consistent time to do various things. Work on the smithing, learning smithing with Garanus. Put some time into restocking his bandage supply and learning more just about everything. The smithing, but also wild lore and how to be a better apothecary. Getting dedicated time to working the ores. Building some of his muscle and getting used to how life at sea works. So he's actually really happy in a lot of ways that they have some dedicated time just out at sea and working, and he is a little, I wouldn't say concerned, but he's kind of wondering what in the heck is going on with Silas's little shrine there. I don't think he would studiously ignore it, but I think he would do his best that, like, at any time that they're in the cabin or whatever, he's going to situate himself so he doesn't really have to look at it. Because he's like, it's kind of weird and yeah.
Lesser well-known pagan gods.
Yeah. He's not like weirded out necessarily, but he's definitely kind of like, that's I don't know about this building shrines out of skulls thing. So yeah. I think the one thing that he would definitely do is spend some time, as time allows, swimming. If there's any days that are just kind of calm, learning to swim better and using that as kind of a dual purpose, learning how to swim better, but also getting extra baths in. And he will, at one point, if he can sneak his way to do it, leave one of those bottles of fine wine at our dearly beloved female compatriot who he doesn't quite think she's insane for thinking she comes from the stars, but he's going to leave her a bottle of fine wine if he thinks he can get away with not being noticed. So
yeah, you can leave a bottle outside her cabin door one night. That's totally fine.
One quick little additional for me there. Garanus, during all this time, when he sees Aethelridge at one point going through his stuff for his, like, doing his bandages and stuff, he's going to sort of pay attention to that. He's going to almost act like, he's, he'll look over, but if he gets noticed, he'll go back to what he's doing as if, he got caught doing something he wasn't supposed to do.
All right.
Aethelridge would be more than happy to share what knowledge he's got. The way he looks at it, the more people who can handle bandages, the better, because you never know when someone's going to need it, and you may or may not be available. So
it is part of my religion. So
well, if you if Aethelridge wanted to get some swimming in, they wouldn't be like weighing anchor in, dropping anchor in like in the middle of fucking nowhere. The captain is a pretty canny dude, and he knows his crew. What they would do is they would find like large large sandbars or small desert islands and kind of like drop off to get everyone like off of the ship, go for a walk, do a couple laps around this like 4 or 5 treed island, and then you could probably get some swimming in at that time. What we'll do here is we'll have ourselves a 10-minute break, and we'll come back in the next scene. You guys will be dropped off on one of these islands to get some more character development going. All right, we'll be back in just a few. Hey, Keith, you there?
Yes.
Question. There is an aquatic geographical form where it's a stretch of ocean that is kind of covered and knotted up with vines, or not vines.
Yeah, seaweed and such.
Seaweed, plant matter, and shit.
Like the Sargasso Sea.
Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for, because
Okay.
I'm looking for it here, and I was like, well, shit, where? Because now, to open the scene back up for you, if you guys are all here with us, one of the islands you guys drop anchor at, you get one of the skiffs out, and drops you all off on land, and everyone goes in shifts. It goes off. You get some sand between your toes, and then some people get off on the boat. So the ship itself is not unmanned entirely at a time, which is horrible, and I don't have to explain to you why. The sea on the back side of this island, oriented to you and the ship, it's miles of this Sargasso.
Yes.
And there is maybe like a 2 or 3 mile an hour wind, and it's like 112 out. There's not a whole lot of wind going on, so the rowers have been kind of beat to shit for the past like 4 days at this point. So the captain takes a hint, because he doesn't want to deal with a mutiny. We need to get off and rest and walk, and so he kicks you all off the ship. Out, way the hell out in this Sargasso, is a derelict Turanian vessel, and it's half like pitched to the side, like it's half sunk. It's not right with the rest of the world, we'll tell you that much. But strangely enough, the sail, it's a double-masted lantine sail, triangular shaped sails, and the sail looks good. Like, it's not torn. Clearly, the ship has not been there in a while. It hasn't been here for a very long time. And you guys are very seasoned sailors at this point, that's smellier than a fish's wet bits. We don't want to touch that.
That looks interesting.
Exactly. But you guys are out on this kind of like an SG-shaped sandbar that's got some tall grass like toward the center of it, and it's maybe got like 20 trees on it. Just picture that in your mind. It's not a big island.
All right. Okay.
And so the captain has kind of made the command decision. We either can drop the anchor here and stay overnight, or we get back on the ship after a couple hours and we get the hell out of here. And he goes to Braylon, and Braylon looks at the rest of the crew. And of course, the rest of you look back at Braylon, and he just shrugs. He kind of gives you the, well, I don't know, Spidey, what do you want to do? I don't know, Cap, what do you want to do?
Well, sirs, he sort of brushes his forehead like as a bit of a salute. I wouldn't mind seeing if there's any supplies out there on that Turanian ship. So it hasn't been here for very long. There could be useful equipment, or at least raw materials and such for us. Might even be survivors.
It could be a trap. The last abandoned ship we went to had skeletons attack us.
Oh,
It could-
yeah. Look at that.
But we won't know until we go and find out.
True.
And at least a spare sail, if we can find it and get it, would be worth more than its weight in gold at the moment.
True. Hey,
Braylon nods. We could use an extra sail.
But, I don't like it.
And Nareem,
Oh,
you say you sailed these waters before, yes?
For 2 seasons, I've been up and down from Rama. I have not seen your far point. Excuse me, your Fellport.
Have you laid eyes on a ship like that that's out there in the weeds?
Yes, that is a Turanian ship. They're more common north of here, closer beyond the island, and he kind of like chews on the words. He doesn't speak very good trade language. He serves the island Cirkelsa, or more fair-colored humans, mortals live.
Well, you might be a good person to take over there with us then, since you know those ships. You might know how they're rigged and if there are hazards we should be aware of.
He looks to the captain and he says, I would gladly give my knowledge once, maybe a twice over of that ship, but that is quite deep into the Sargasso. How did that ship get there?
Exactly. If it's too good to be true, it normally is. There could be other brigands laying in wait to spring the trap. A near perfect sail out here in the middle of nowhere.
Then we should definitely go armed.
The captain just nods. Take your sabers.
Was going unarmed ever a question?
The captain just smiles.
Aren't Arborians always armed?
Oh, yes. We come out of our mothers with daggers in our hands.
Yes.
The rest of the Arborians just nod. Yeah, he's right. Yeah, of course.
I thought your arms were lethal weapons.
They are, but there's armed, and he walks over to one of his chests that you never actually see him open, and he throws it back, revealing a bronze breastplate inside. He says, "And there's armed." And he starts getting it on.
The captain chimes in here. Goranas.
Yes?
Do not just... He puts his hand up. Put that away.
Oh, okay. He
look out there. It's... I would not have my blacksmith sink like a stone out in the middle of nowhere. Put the armor away.
That is true. He dresses back in with a clank, obviously falling upon other pieces. It was probably a full set of bronze armor. He latches it closed again and says, it's just with the usual then. He pulls on his leather jerkin that he normally wears for blacksmithing. So he gives him a little bit of protection at least.
The captain turns around. He as you're putting on this jerkin, and he kind of shoots you another look, and he kind of spies the rest of this raiding party, kind of like the captain has a look. He doesn't have to say anything. He gives you the look, and you're like, all right, I've been voluntold, I'm going. He kind of like scans the lot of you, like 9 of you. He's I wouldn't wear your jerkins either. He just kind of gives you this wily wink. There's going to be a fair amount of swimming out there.
He checks off the jerkin as well, starts grumbling, and then he starts rigging his scabbard and his sword for wearing on his back.
A couple of the rest of the Arborians just kind of like swear and cuss to themselves, like,
yeah, Silas
sheds their armor and throws it on the floor.
Yeah, Silas knows that the captain's making perfect sense, and he doesn't have any armor yet. It's been shredded, it hasn't been made. So I mean, he doesn't like going out, into battle. Basically, he's wearing nothing but like his breeches. He's got like
everybody's just wearing pants,
cured animal,
no shoes at this time.
He has like cured. A little bit of cured animal, like rugged, like very crude animal hide, like greaves that couldn't really defend against like nothing. He's got no shoes on, shirtless. He's like, oh god, he's never felt more vulnerable. Especially, he's got PTSD from that tiger attack. So that plus the skeletons in the last ship, he's nothing but red flags are flying off here. So he's gonna be ultra cautious. He's got a bad feeling about this.
Okay. How many of those healing bandages do you have put together there, Aethelridge? We could probably carry a couple each.
Yeah, he's got 5.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and
good,
Aethelridge
good,
would look
good
to the
eye
captain
there.
and be like, or go ahead.
That's actually a really good point. Has Aethelridge mentioned any of his medicine craft to the rest of the crew or the rest of the party? In the past, we're going to
Yeah,
say
absolutely.
11 to 10, 11 months. Have you taught anyone anything? How to clean a wound, how to boil some leaves, anything?
Yeah, yep.
All right,
Anybody and he would learn anything that he could from any of the ship's doctors as well. He's all for learning, all for teaching.
Well, technically, Brahm is the other doctor. Brahm has entirely too many jobs on this ship, so that's why they need more people, and that's why they keep taking on people.
Well, he's a quartermaster. I mean, he's got a tough job. He knew what he signed up for.
He's a Swiss Army knife, really.
Yeah.
And Brahm, speaking of mentioning him, he shucks off his jerkin and actually throws it in the sand. He belts on the better quality of his two sabers and an array of daggers on the other hip. So in that passage of time that I gave earlier, the rest of you can add one grade of apothecary into your sheets.
Because Silas would
I should have
definitely
done my
want
due
to do it.
diligence. I apologize.
Because after the attack and everything, he would want to try to find, some knowledge of how to bandage himself in the most rudimentary sense, even because that shit's smart, okay? And he don't want to be caught with his pants down again.
The captain has left you for a few moments as you guys are kind of like negotiating amongst the 12 of you on this expedition. 9 of you are going to go. 9 of the 12 are going to go investigate that ship. The other 3 are going to stay here and kind of like build a staging area. The captain comes back down about 10 minutes later, and he announces to the rest of the crew, Zakiti has informed me that Blackheart will be here the day after tomorrow, which is a name some of these more senior people on the ship knows. So I will tell you now, we can investigate that ship now, or we can stay here. I don't care either way. He is going to be coming the day after tomorrow. It's best if we meet with them.
What is a Blackheart?
Braylon kind of just nudges you. He goes, he's one of the captain's better companions.
Oh,
He's another smuggler. He's a wine smuggler from here into Felport.
Wine smuggler.
Yeah, Blackheart's got the good stuff.
Why don't we investigate the ship today? Take it easy tomorrow and wait for the Blackheart.
If we survive until tomorrow, I don't like this.
Well, now we have incentive. Good wine coming our way.
And plenty of it. And the captain points at you. He points at your face. Yes.
I have a question, Captain. Are you sure that I can't take my armor while investigating the ship?
Would you like to drown?
The skeletons last time are a bit worrying.
There are great fish. You saw that skin that you both brought onto the ship some months ago from port. There are great fish that dwell beneath the waves, and there are far worse things that dwell in reefs, and I am willing to bet any amount of coin you want there is a reef beneath that Sargasso with all sorts of things in it. Do you want to swim, or do you want to drown? It's your choice. You can drown out there if you wear your armor.
Bronze is heavy.
Garanus
you make a good point, Captain, but if there's a reef out there with
Hmm?
You make an excellent point, Captain. But if there's things in the reef, wouldn't it make more sense for me to wear my mail so that it can't eat me?
The captain just smirks and says, "Yes, you are correct. However, if you fall into the drink, there is no way we're hauling you out again." Look at Garanus here, and he actually walks over to him,
flexes.
and he actually takes a finger and he like stabs you in the peck with it. You know, he weighs more than this ship without his armor. Kind of it's like talking you up to being a huge, built like a brick shithouse.
Make the pecs dance.
You're right. Yes, and he just looks over. Yes, exactly. And that does not help you swim.
Isn't wood buoyant though? Won't they float? And it just had a sly little smirk.
Aren't Italians half fish? So even if you did fall sink down, you wouldn't drown.
Now, Garanus, you are thinking of Atlanteans that are part fish.
Oh,
They have
okay.
sex with mermaids and sharks and sea
Well,
cucumbers and octopus.
let me tell you something about this Italian. When we went to the brothel with him, we found him in water.
Oh, we've heard
foam.
We have told this story. I am aware. He kind of he half walks over to Silas and kind of like grabs his chin and now right, yes, you lucky lad, you messes up your hair. Well, you're losing daylight, gentlemen. Get out there.
Don't worry, Etheridge. We'll survive this.
I don't like it. And Silas will just, he'll go to the dinghy, dude. He don't like it.
I'll, in the process, Granish is going to get a little bag of tools together. Pry bar, hammer, chisel, in case we have to actually break into something over there or break something loose.
Brahm goes back down. He actually goes down into the ship with you, and he takes out an ebon crowbar, hands it over.
Weigh it. This will definitely be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've killed a couple bandits with that before. You can see the scuff mark. He points out a scratch on it.
Yeah, he looks at it. Grannis looks at it and rolls it and says, "This is a bit beyond my skill. So if you break it, it's broken."
Oh, you will not break that. He assures you.
Okay, it's on you if I do. He adds that to his kit. He'll get he'll go ahead and grab probably a bill hook too, because that'll be useful for us boarding the actual boat to pull us closer. So he'll go up and toss that down into the ship's launch.
Is there anything else the rest of you want to bring along while we're doing this?
Silas doesn't have anything else to bring along. He's got his daggers and his pants.
You're pretty much naked, man. Until Brahm gets done with that.
Yeah,
that armor.
He's dragging his fucking ass, dude. So I'm just sitting out here with my dick in my hand. So we'll see what happens.
Etheridge is going to look at the captain, look at the party, look at the captain, and take his helmet off and set it aside, but only the helmet.
The captain smirks. I want all of you coming back here alive. You understand?
Yes, aye, Captain.
Yes, Captain.
And if you can, I want that thing brought down to a skeleton when you bring it back. Anything that can be moved and it is not bolted down comes back here.
Granis holds up the crowbar. Even if it's bolted down, sir.
Good. Be off with you then.
All right.
Captain goes for a walk, actually. So it's you three, Braylon, Brahm, and 4 other individuals.
Okay, Granis will man a set of the oars. Because being nice, strong back, he should be able to help pull us in the sargassum.
Now, it's gonna take a little while, kind of slogging through the sargassum. It's thick. A couple of you gotta get sabers out and cut your way through it. But a good couple or 3 hours, and you're out there.
So, yeah, Silas will try to take like a position like on the head of the dinghy, kind of be like, look out. He's kind of scanning towards the direction he's going, see if there's any movement at all, like on the ship as they get closer, scanning to see if there's, I don't know, anybody laying in wait. I don't know, something. He's just been trying to be a lookout.
Okay. 200 yards out. Awareness test. From the lookout. There you go. Thanks, Grant.
So that is a 10.
Oh, you don't think you see anything outside of seagulls. You've got a couple seagulls up there that are circling and making a
Damn
loud
albatross coming for us.
No. I haven't seen an albatross for quite some time. Gorgeous animals, by the way. 150 yards. Awareness test. Oh, shit.
That is a 11, so you probably beat me.
You don't see anything yet. And about, let's go for 50 yards out. Go for another awareness test.
That's a 12. So I got like a 10, 11, 12. Like, what the fuck?
You see what is left of a crew of sailors that has been ravaged by something. They're like half eaten.
There's corpses on there, torn apart, and looks like they're eaten by some creature.
Okay. Garanis has been on the ship how long?
He's probably been on the ship for, well, I think we established that he was on the ship for about a year prior to teleport.
So it's in game total, by the way. Happy birthday twice now.
Oh,
So
well,
you've been you've been sailing on the Dawnthorn for close to 3 cycles now.
Okay, 3 cycles, yeah.
In total. It'll be 4 cycles come when you guys make landfall at Sir Kelsa. Has Garanis ever seen a shark attack?
I'm going to say yes, he has.
Okay.
At least once.
The way Silas describes these victims sure as hell sounds like a shark attack outside the water.
Yeah, how would a shark get on a ship like that? Well, look to your weapons, boys.
And it could be a half shark man abomination creature.
That couldn't exist.
Oh, I should have brought my armor. I knew it. I knew my armor was needed.
Yeah, Silas draws his guitar, dude. He's expecting some fucking shark monstrosity hybrid demon to come out and like just ravage their bodies.
What I'm gonna do here, I've got a. All right. Oh, this might screw with you guys. It's gonna be scary, let me tell you. What looms out of the bowels of this ship is an ogre-sized monstrosity that, and I'll say ogre-sized, to be about 11.5 to 12 feet tall. It looks like an anthropomorphic lionfish with spines. It's got stripes, a huge maw of teeth. And as soon as your skiff kind of like thunks into the side of this ship, you're like, oh shit, that's a big boy. And he has a half-eaten Tyrannian in his mouth. Yeah, so I love you to pieces, Grant. You're fantastic. So, make reaction tests, gentlemen.
Oh fuck, man.
And I wish I had that picture for you guys. I can't find it right now.
11 for me.
11. All right, cool.
That's an 18 for me.
I got a 16.
And the fish monstrosity goes on a big ol' 7. Yeah, this thing evidently probably layers here now. So it's just kind of like walking around, and it comes out to like sun itself or do whatever the hell, and it sees you, and you get the drop on it. Silas goes first. Air masters his fucking fear. Come on now, get him.
All right. Well, I steel myself with my guitars in my hand, and I will lunge at this abomination, saying prayers to the banshee queen, if you will, to let me just not die. So
Let me say this as the left side of Silas's brain. What a sacrifice this thing's
Yeah.
heart would be.
it would. But at the same time, the rational part's like, dude, get the fuck out, dude. So, all right, so he's
Let's
going
do
to
it.
strike at him. So,
Oh shit! Come on now, I hate me.
so that's an 18 for the first attack.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
So it's a 13 for a second attack.
Oh, god damn it! Of course.
And the offhand. So that is a 11 for the offhand to strike.
And of course, you get land all 3. Oh my god! All right, fine.
All right, so
So you can roll damage for all 3 of those. It's
All right.
it's clearly not expecting visitors today.
all right, let's see. First one is that is it. That's max damage. That's a 10.
Of course it is.
There you go, Ray.
That is a
Yes, that thing. Thank you. I was looking for that
Oh.
exact thing. There we go.
fuck no. Okay, the second one is the
Yeah.
second one's 3 damage.
By the way, it has damage suppressive 3.
Okay, so and the third one is 9 damage. Man, fuck this thing. I don't like it at all. It's fucking horrible. I'm gonna fucking have nightmares. Fuck that.
Okay, you said 10, 3, and 9, you said?
Yep.
Okay, so that is describe for us your opening barrage of attacks. You come up to about probably about knee high. You're full. Excuse me, no, it's about hip high on this thing.
All right, so I charge at him, Wolverine style, with my guitar. It's like, and I will just start with a flurry of just punches at his hips, his groin, his thighs. My first initial thrust will get him, dig both of them into like the inner thigh of his left leg, and just put a big gash into him. And I'll pull back for another punch, and I'll do it in my my dagger just sort of just deflects off of it. And I'm like, oh, okay, what the fuck? So I put more force into the second one. I just right where his dick should be, and I just punch as hard as I can. And this thing just needs to die, basically. And Silas is he's scared shitless, but at the same time he's pissed off because he wants the thing to die. So he's
it lets out a roar of it's a roar of agony, but the way this thing gurgles this horrible utterance. I'm gonna need you guys to make a straight spirit test, as it's gonna try and throw some fear at your guys' way here.
I got a 9.
Fantastic.
I shit myself.
You actually needed a 9 to pass.
Oh,
And so yeah, Coronis met
35.
How much? What was that, John?
35.
35. Jesus Christ.
I
All
got-
right. So
I got 3 8s in a row.
nice, dude. Nice. Now Aethelridge is next, and you don't sweat this thing at all, regardless if it is bristling with spines or probably fucking venomous. You don't know. It's a horrible thing. Describe for us how you attempt to dispatch him.
Yeah, so this thing is letting out it's a roar, trying to intimidate Aethelridge, and Aethelridge is having none of it. He wants him some fish sandwiches. So he's gonna roar back at it.
Attaboy.
And will red mist, will successfully red mist and just charge it. Like he's just like, you know what? No. I want me some fish steaks for dinner. We're gonna carve us up some filet. So
Attaboy. Go ahead and make your attacks, man.
yeah.
This thing's pretty easy to hit here. Yeah, it's tough, but it does have a static armor here.
Okay. 17.
Oh yeah, that's totally gonna hit it. That almost doubles.
For 9 points.
Hell yeah! All right.
And yeah, he's just gonna run at it and just
Okay. Now Garanus is up next. This thing attempts to strike fear into you, but you steel yourself against this horrible thing.
I'll do the same as what Aethelridge did. Let me see if I can get the red mist going. No, just fell just short. Didn't quite pull it up this time, so he's gonna try to take one shot at it this round because of getting it ready.
Mm-hmm.
So that is gonna be a, let's see, right here. It is gonna be a 13.
13 certainly hits it.
And that's gonna be for 9 damage.
Oh my gosh. 9s, man. 9s are the way to do it. And it's actually a pretty damn good clip of damage here. He's looking pretty worse for wear in the first 3 rounds, but he's gonna punch a hell of a lot more above his weight here. As Silas is the biggest the biggest threat, son of a goddamn bitch.
well, guys, it's nice.
A crit fail.
Oh, good. Lucky me, dude. Do you want me to roll? I mean,
what it's gonna do, it's gonna try and come down with one of its huge clawed, webbed hands, and you're gonna probably jump back out of the way.
Oh yeah, I get the fuck out of there.
And it puts a hole through the deck that you were just in, as this big dumb fish piece of shit gets his hand stuck in the goddamn floor. So, Silas, please kill this thing.
I'm sure gonna fucking try. All right, so that's a 13 on the first attack.
Yeah, dude.
That's a 10 on the second. Nope, that's a 9 on the second.
It has a static armor of 9, actually.
Okay, so that one does not hit, right? Or does it hit?
It does hit.
Okay. And then the second, it's the offhand. 9 for the offhand to hit. So
All right.
let's roll damage. You said his static was 9. You said
9. Yeah,
okay.
he's
So
pretty
all
easy to
these.
hit.
Okay,
He
so
hits
all
like a
these
brick
hit.
truck.
So let's hopefully I can surpass his static thing. Okay, so that's 5 for the first damage.
Okay.
That is 8 for the second. And that's 8 for the third.
Oh, for Christ's sakes. All right. All right. He's looking real bad. You can describe for us how and where you hit him, actually.
So I
He's like
Silas
half doubled over trying to get his fist out of the floor.
Silas comes up to him and sees the opportunity to hit him in a place that's not his groin. I'm going to aim for where his vital organs should be, along his side where his ribs are, and try to avoid the spines and just start hammering at him and just taking chunks and chunks of his flesh and blood just leaking everywhere. As I'm pounding through this thick hide of his, breaking some of the spines off of them as I'm going. It's just like a pool of just crimson below him as I'm just trying to gut this thing as fast as I can. Just punch after punch after punch. Just putting all my force into it.
Make a defense test. Since you're kind of flurrying in there, you're going to catch some of these spikes, maybe.
So that's a 15 on defense.
Yes, you actually take 3 points of vitality damage there.
Woo woo.
And now, Aethelridge is next up.
Yeah, Aethelridge is in the midst, so he's just going to go hog wild on this. He's just going to attack as hard as he can.
Get him.
19 for the first.
Get him. All right.
And 15 for the second.
Okay. Roll damage for both.
So 5 for the first one, and max of 11 on the second.
Oh, okay. He is barely hanging on there. Garanus is next there.
Shots here. First one is going to be a 16.
Okay.
Second shot is going to be a 14.
Okay.
So,
both of those do hit. I'm pretty sure you're going to finish him off.
okay. 7 with the first one, and the second one is going to be a 6.
Yeah, that's going to finish him off.
Okay.
You can describe for us. He gets his fist out in time just for you to dispatch him.
Okay. As this thing's rolling back from my 2 companions' assault on him, Garanus is sort of laying back, waiting for his chance. And as he raises up above the other 2, Garanus rears back with his broadsword and takes one swipe at the thing's throat and bites into it, and slides it out, and he comes from the other side and hits the other side of the neck, and doesn't quite sever the head, but the thing lolls to one side as this thing collapses to the deck in front of them and gasps out its last gurgling noise. So almost a whimper.
Awesome.
So,
Silas let out like a roar.
Yeah, actually. Damn, I didn't.
Don't
None
be-
of you got to take damage here.
don't
Except
get
for
too
Grant.
excited there, boys, because this thing might have a mate.
Oh,
Good. I can
Thanks,
use
Keith.
more.
God damn it, Keith.
yeah, that's the mate is not home. Thanks, Keith.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's practicing social distancing. Gotcha.
Yes.
I'm done, dude. I'm just that's it. Good night. Good night. See you
Gotta
guys
be
later.
smart.
Well done. So as this thing falls over, Grant, Silas's puncture wounds from those spikes really start to burn.
Well, after the adrenaline wears off, and Silas is sitting there, he's just breathing heavily, and then he just looks down at his hands, on his forearms and everything, these holes, and he's like, "Oh, ow, ow, ah, it burns." I'm just like rubbing at his
starts
arms.
to seep a green liquid in there. Your blood is red, so you know you're not bleeding.
I think I'm poisoned, he says as he just kind of wobbles a little bit. He just this green ooze out of his pus, like pus is coming out of his arms.
I'll reach over and grab him and sort of help him stand up, and I'll say, "Aetherage, I think we need a little assistance here. Take a look at it and see if his bare minimum skills gives him anything in the insight on what's really going on with the apothecary here."
Go for it.
That's a total of an 8. So no, probably not.
No, you have no idea how to treat poisons, or if it even is poison. Yeah, like I said before, you think Atayan blood is green. Oh, you're just bleeding.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen him bleed before. So.
Sorry, John, what was that?
Would it be sea lore to know what's going on, because it's like half fish, or would it be like wild lore or apothecary?
That would be sea lore, actually.
Maybe one of the other fellows who witnessed those a little more than we do. Maybe, I don't know. I'll try to get him.
13. Sorry,
Was it 13 on your sea lore? You said. Yeah. You're actually not familiar with this beast either. This could be bad.
Is there anybody else in our group that might be more familiar with it? So I'll ask him, "Hey guys, what's going on with this fella?"
Brom knows. He comes over and kind of just grabs your arm and looks you over. So, you've been poisoned. He just kind of like pulls you down to the deck and makes you lay down. You're not going to want to move. Brom gets really calm and really quiet.
Oh, I'm scared shitless.
And so Braylon goes ahead and says, the rest of you just start ransacking this place before this thing's mate comes back.
Aye, sir. I'll start going through looking for stuff that's useful.
You heard the captain. Anything that is bolted down, or if it can be moved easily, comes back with us. Those sails need to come first. He sends 4 people up there. Brom, however, takes out a poultice. He takes out a fillet knife. He goes, "This is going to hurt."
Oh fuck!
And he starts bleeding you. He cuts you wide open with an ebon dagger, which is basically a flesh separator.
Oh man!
And he ties a bit of twine off at your elbow. Your lower arm is starting to go purple for a time. And he starts getting out like a bit of forceps, or like primitive tweezers. And he starts plucking out shards, which is extremely painful, of this spine in your arm. He's trying to bleed you. And once he goes from one puncture wound to another, he actually stuffs a bit of what looks to be like an aloe vera salve gel kind of paper mache substance into the wound.
So Silas is trying not to scream. He bets he can. You know, he's making some grunts and whimpers, but at some point, him kind of like I yelp. He can't. Get this shit hurts. So.
It smells horrible. It's like he's stuffing dog shit into your wounds. Is really what it smells like.
Lovely, very lovely.
And the rest of you, regarding the ransacking, tell me what you're doing. Describe for us what's going on.
So Garanus is immediately going to go and look and see if there's, being the smith, he's going to see if there's anything left of possibly their smith's equipment, and start gathering that up if they can find anything like that. See if they have any coal, any raw tin or copper, or even already barred bronze, possibly, or just equipment generally related to what he normally does.
There is a full array of blacksmith's tools there.
Okay.
The forge itself is toppled over and is horribly corroded. It's got barnacles on it. The bellows, however, you think you can repair it,
Okay.
but you're not sure.
Still
You're confident.
worth grabbing. So grab the tools.
Heavy. Their coal, however, is completely ruined.
Okay.
There is fresh canvases. You actually find 14 of the 47 hammocks that are actually still in good use. You can take those.
Oh, yeah.
There are 4 strong boxes in the brig that you can steal.
Oh, yeah.
You find what's left of a ballista down there.
Go ahead and take the fittings off of it.
Yeah,
all the metal fittings.
Let me just see here. The ones that you can take are ebon.
Okay.
The ones that you can't are horribly corroded.
Okay.
You find an extra ballista, like a bow that's unstrung.
Okay. Take that.
Now, what I'm going to describe for you next is think of a long wooden box for like ammunition,
Okay.
like big artillery shell ammunition boxes.
Mm-hmm.
There's 6 of those.
Oh, okay.
And they're locked.
What's the lock made of?
Bronze.
Use the ebon pry bar to break them.
You're gonna make a physique test for that. Where is Aethelridge in all of this?
15.
At the start, Aethelridge is going to be helping down so that the struggling doesn't cause more damage. Once that gets done, though,
Okay.
I think he'll run through, try and find any like special cabins, like the captain's cabin, and try and get in there.
Okay. That thing is actually it looks to be like the beast's lair. It looks like there's like a brood of eggs in there, like 6 of them. And they're kind of like.
Do they look
stuck.
like we could?
Oh, sorry. Go for it.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, does it look like he can safely grab them and like, do they look like they'd be good to eat?
They're about twice the size of an ostrich egg, and what you've got is they're kind of like stuck, like glued to the side, like the wall, in like a clutch, almost like frog eggs if you've seen them. But there's 6 there, and they're just kind of like in this green, almost half transparent paste. You could remove them from the wall. I'm totally not going to stop you. They're right there. Regarding the captain's quarters, his desk is like half sunk into the water there, and you kind of like see that there's kind of like almost like the bottom portion of like a sink, like a grease trap, or so like that little dip. Almost like these beasts use this pocket of water to swim under the ship and then up directly into the lair. So regarding that, there's not much in the way of loot that you could possibly see here.
Can he get into the captain's desk?
The desk? Yeah, you certainly can. The portions of the drawers that are still up there. You see,
Yep.
you pull that open. There's a couple ledgers in there, like a log and a half. What you do see, and give me a lore test. I want to see if you actually know what you're looking at.
Wild lore.
No. Just straight lore test.
Sure.
That would be a cunning.
Oh, okay. Oh, 7.
What you have in there, in your hand, is 2 log books and what looks to be like a big, like papyrus pamphlet, like a big folder, like a big portfolio tied up with twine. And if like you open part of it up, it's probably about a good 1.5 inches thick worth of pages, papyrus, leather, and maybe like a wooden case in there. And from what you can tell, they're maps.
Okay. Etheridge is not the best sailor in the world, but he's enough of an academic to understand that maps are a good thing. So he's going to take that. He'll take the eggs, and he'll go back and he'll leave. And he'll, be a level of just give the eggs to the cook as soon as he can.
When you go ahead and take those eggs off of the wall, I need you to make me a conditioning test. And if you've got to go, I'll have you get that conditioning test in, and we'll start to wrap this up. You're muted, John.
Yeah, sorry, I was just doing math.
No,
it's a total of 8.
A total of 8?
Of 18, 1 8.
18, 1 8. Oh, okay. Yeah, dude. If you want to dip out quick, go for it. I'm gonna wrap this up with them. Thanks for coming tonight, John.
Yep, have fun, guys.
Thanks, man. Silas, I need him to make a conditioning test quick.
Oof. Oh, where the fuck is it? Hold on. I know I got it here somewhere. Just had it.
I know you have grades in conditioning, man.
I totally do.
Damn it all, man. Come on now.
My physique is 4 less, so
you're not taking penalties from your physique. That's just physique damage because you're poisoned. What do you got, Grant?
that is a 3.
Oh man! Oh shit! You take you take 3 more physique damage here.
Oh yeah. Oh god. I got like 1 physique.
Oh shit! Now, regarding Garanus, you now have the rest of the party, actually the raiding party down there, and they're just like Blues Brothers, just throwing shit out the door.
Yeah, basically.
Like they're throwing shit up against the wall. Oh, they're coming to get us.
I'm going to detail at least 2 of them to be on watch. We don't want to be surprised by this thing's mate if it shows up again. So I want to have 2 guys doing nothing but keeping an eye out.
Okay.
So
they are the Dusk Fair folks.
okay. So we'll be just lugging this stuff up and into the skiff as fast as we can. And the main thing I want to make sure we get are those that locked ballista box.
There's 6 of those.
The one that I was attempting to break the lock on, I got a 11 for that.
Yeah, what you reveal are bolts.
Okay.
Ebon-tipped ballista bolts.
Oh yeah, those are definitely going back.
Oh yeah, no, that's coming home with us.
Also, the parts of the ballista that are corroded, for the
Yes.
bronze. I'm going to go ahead and take those two because I might be able to forge new ones. And I can use those as a pattern.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to get those as well. Well, as much as I can.
It's going to take. Do you have grades in engineering?
No, I do not.
Oh shit! You cannot use it untrained. Damn. I was gonna say you could. If you had grades in engineering, you could take the bow off of it as well, so you'd have two. The Dawnthorn has one gun as it is.
So yeah, I'm just collecting the pieces off of it mainly. You know, as best I can. So I don't know about the metal to know how to. I guess I would assume to get it off. I'm thinking taking it back and giving it to the captain and saying, "Okay, we have this. I can forge this if you can find somebody to put it together for us." So
okay. You don't know who your ship's gunner is.
Yeah.
Actually,
crazy,
no, excuse me.
pretty
No,
old guy.
you're crazy pretty old guy. No, actually, you've been on the ship longest. The ship's gunner is actually Braylon.
Of course.
So regarding that, you can ransack the rest of this thing in like left, right, and center, like for 20 minutes.
Okay.
And you guys are out of there. Brahm has you stabilized at 1 physique, but you're looking real pale for a very darkly bronzed Atean. And you guys are about 100 yards away before you hear the mournful wail of this thing's mate as she finds her mate dead on the deck of their home, like basically their front door. And what we'll do here is our closing soliloquies. Silas, on the edge of consciousness, take it away, brother.
Well, as Silas looks up at the blistering sun as they are rowing away from this ship, feeling the stinging, searing, burning pain of his now tended to wounds, he's fighting back the nausea. His head is spinning, and he just thinks, I hate abandoned ships. I hate it. No good has come from this. I hope the loot they got was worth it because this is agony. But then he thinks that he deserves this. This is some penance. This is him repenting to the goddess for his misdeeds and his dishonor to her. So in a way, it is flesh for flesh, an eye for an eye. And even though it hurts like nothing has ever felt, he takes solace in the fact that that this will hopefully appease the goddess in his wrongdoings. And unfortunately, in his state, he wasn't able to retrieve the heart from the creature. So that hopefully his suffering will be enough for her. He will be sure to bleed on the altar tonight. Maybe his own blood will be sacrificed enough for her. And looking forward to the future, he desperately looks forward to dry land where they aren't fighting abandoned ships filled with fish monstrosities and skeletons. And so now Silas just is fighting to stay conscious as he thinks, oh man, I hope we don't have any more ships. Just don't stop for ships at this point. Just oh God has helped me.
So as for Garanis, he's thinking to himself, this was a pretty good prize to take. Not even counting for the strong boxes that were taken that hadn't been opened yet. Just this ballista itself and the ebon in these tips and these fittings is probably worth a king's ransom. And of course, the additional pieces and such he's found, but the other bronze fittings and such that have been pulled off from the pulleys and the stanchions and such on the ship as well will be good fodder for repairing their own equipment and such. but it may be a high price to pay as he pulls on the oars heading back, and looks down at Silas laying there in a stupor, just muttering something about hating ships. He thinks to himself, last time that their crew came upon an abandoned ship, that irritating little Git Hana died. Maybe there's a payment to be paid for dealing with these old ships that he should listen to Silas from the beginning. But either way, it was a good day to be a pirate, but not necessarily a good day to be a fish fighter. He thinks for a moment. He doesn't know a lot about the sea, but he knows, or even the land for that matter, for animals. But he does know one thing. Animals that have quills like that, that's not something the animals hunt with. That's something they defend themselves with. And he sort of starts weirdly looking around and thinking to himself, what's big enough to eat those things out here?
Here be monsters, gents, beneath the waves. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We will be back same time. We apologize for the late start, but thank you for tuning in. We'll be back same time, same place. Good night, everybody.